Hi, this is Chief Education Officer Bill Olsen, and welcome to another School District Update. Well, it's a very busy time of year. This is being filmed at the end of November. Tomorrow, in fact, will be December 1st. And it's a time that we will not only spend with our families outside of the school day and our jobs, but we'll be very much spending the next month to 2 months with our school family, with the school board and the school budget committee in the discussion of our fiscal 2025 budget. We've spent the last 2 months, as I think I've mentioned in previous programs, meeting with staff, our administrators, and developing a sound understanding of the strengths and needs of our students right from preschool and kindergarten up through grade 12. And I want to extend my thanks to our staff who provided very valuable input to us in terms of what they think we need to do for programs, services to students, sometimes involves staffing, some additional staffing. What we try to do in the preparation of the budget from year to year is we don't simply look to incrementally budget. In other words, just keep adding and adding and adding. We look as closely as possible to what areas of the budget can we possibly reduce and why, and what areas of the budget can we reallocate monies from to another priority. Sometimes we want to change the nature of jobs, which is what we're looking to do in some cases in the fiscal 2025 budget, which applies to the 2024-2025 school year. Could be, in some instances, changing job categories, job descriptions, and reallocating that money to a different type of position that we feel will serve students better and serve families better also. So it's always, I look at the budgeting process as a chess game. We're looking to make strategic moves to make the experience for every child better every single year. Doesn't come easily. Costs have increased in a similar manner to what we've all experienced in our own families and our own personal lives. The costs of doing business in a school district, whether it's labor salaries, whether it's contracted services, whether it's insurances, have all escalated significantly in some cases. And so we understand our obligation certainly to provide the best programs and services possible to our students, but always recognizing that we also answer to you, the Merrimack taxpayer. And we take that very, very seriously. Is it a reality that budgets increase seemingly from year to year? It is. But there's where we have to look carefully. Where are those budget increases? Can we mitigate them to some extent? And so we're always probing to see what we can do to be as efficient as possible, but provide the children of the district with the best education possible. Well, coming up, we have Hanukkah, which begins on the evening of December 7th and stretches through sundown on December 12th. We wish those families, in fact, I think Hanukkah extends, through December 15th, if I recall correctly. So I apologize for the error. We have Christmas coming up, and we have Kwanzaa. What I distribute every year to our staff is a guide to religious and cultural observances. I put that together when I began working here. I used that in a former district that I worked in to provide our staff with an insight of what children and families experience in certain religious and cultural observances. Could be fasting, could require a day or two off from school, but I think it's important for our staff to understand, because we always try not to schedule events on religious or cultural observances. We try not to schedule exams or excessive types of assignments throughout the school district. We want to be respectful of families and what they're required to do in terms of their own celebrations. I send that out at the beginning of each year. We've already prepared the document for the 24-25 school year, but we want to make sure that we're very careful and we're very sensitive to those religious and cultural observances of families. Talking about that, you know, the time period of Christmas in public schools has always been somewhat controversial in terms of what's permissible and what's not permissible. Some school districts stay completely away from any representations of Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa. And my feeling is that's not necessary. We can't bring religious symbols, etc., into the schools. But there's an interesting document that has been prepared for many, many years called the December Dilemma. And it's published by the Anti-Defamation League, and it cites court decisions that indicate that in the event of Christmas, it's okay, it's all right to provide secular representations of a holiday such as Christmas, whether it's wreaths or Christmas trees or candy canes, but it has to be in balance with other observances such as Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. And it's the same at any other time of the year. We can't teach religion, obviously, but secular representations of a holiday such as Christmas are permissible, even in terms of music selections or choral selections. So I just wanted to explain to you that I happen to be a person whose own beliefs are that we don't practice inclusion via exclusion. We don't have to forego everything that we've known in our culture necessarily to provide comfort and diversity. There's enough room for everyone. We bring everyone in to celebrations. No, we don't spend a lot of time in the schools on those celebrations, but we do, in many cases, observe and tell our students. We talk sometimes about the various religious and cultural observances. We don't teach, as I said, religion. But representations of those events are permissible as long as they are in relatively equal balance. So it's always been intriguing to me that some school districts just don't even want to deal with it. But you can, as long as you deal with it fairly, equitably, and responsibly in terms of the representing any observance in a secular nature. So I just wanted to let you know that because I always share this with our leadership team to let them know that don't be afraid to make sure that you feel comfortable with any secular representations of Christmas, any representations of Hanukkah and Kwanzaa also. Okay, enough said of that. A lot of things hot off the press here, so I'm going to actually be looking down a little bit to read some of these because they've been coming in. And I appreciate our staff. Our staff has been sending me a lot of accomplishments of students and occasionally of themselves that are very interesting, that show a lot of pride, a lot of interest, a lot of passion in what they do as professionals and what our students are engaged in also. From the high school, our new athletic director, Adam French, has indicated that winter sports practices have begun. Very importantly also, registrations are now open for unified basketball, which is very, very important. There'll be 5 games that will begin on January 4th and continue for a period of time, and we look forward to our students of all abilities participating in that. There will be a winter athletic meet of coaches on the night of Thursday, December 7th, from 5:30 to 6:30. Here's where winter athletes and the families can meet with coaches on that date, and the guidance will be provided to families about NCAA requirements. That will take place from 6:30 to 7:30. So a winter athletics meet the coaches' night on this Thursday, December 7th, actually next Thursday, December 7th, based on this filming, from 5:30 to 6:30, and then from 6:30 to 7:30, there'll be a discussion of NCAA requirements, which are very, very important want to make sure that everyone is familiar with those requirements. From Merrimack Middle School, the Student Council is spending the month of December organizing a giving tree to benefit the Nashua Children's Home, and we congratulate them on that wonderful, wonderful activity, and thank you to their advisors, Alice Donahue and James Costa. From the high school, Ms. Dutton's English class took a trip to Salem, Massachusetts, where they conducted a reenactment of the trial of Sarah Good and also visited the Witch Trials Memorial, commemorating the victims of the 1692 Salem witch trials. Lots of history in Massachusetts, in New Hampshire, in New England in general. And there's where those opportunities to broaden the educational experience of students is very important. Moving beyond the classroom to make sure that they have as many experiences as possible. From Sally Eagle at the high school, senior Emily Beloche received a National African American Recognition Award from the College Board for her high GPA and outstanding performance on multiple advanced placement exams. That is an exceptional recognition, and we congratulate Emily. From Sarah Campbell, and this is almost a Merrimack tradition. Sarah, as you know, is an outstanding teacher at Merrimack High School and is the advisor and coach of the Granite State Challenge team. Once again, the Granite State Challenge team finished in one of the two top qualifiers, the two top qualifying teams, and they're therefore eligible for television appearance once again. And the matches, Granite State Challenge matches, will be recorded in January to air on New Hampshire Public Broadcasting System beginning in February. That requires a tremendous amount of work on Sarah's part and the students' part, and I congratulate her for her passionate work with students not only during the school day but beyond the school day. That's one of the things I always like to make note of, is that, you know, some people think, well, a teacher's day is easy. They start at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, only go till 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. A teacher's day is never done. They're either planning activities like this, working as an advisor or a coach, correcting papers, planning lessons. There are endless hours. And I can remember when I first began teaching in 1970. I was a math and science teacher. I would go home at the end of the day exhausted, but with the understanding that great teachers do go home at the end of the day exhausted, but that day continues often into late at night for them, because they are always working on planning and preparation for the following day or days. From Jill Hanlon, there was a National Honor Society induction recently, and Art Honor Society induction. We congratulate those students for their exceptional performance in the area of academics. Jill has also let me know that there will be a production of The Christmas Carol at 6 p.m. on December 15th and 16th, and another show at 2 p.m. on December 16th. And we congratulate those theater arts students. That is an extraordinarily important part of student development. I was very much involved in theater arts in high school, along with sports and other activities. And to this day, some of the most memorable events in my life took place on stage in a theater arts production. You learn a lot about extemporaneous decision-making and fast thinking on stage, either trying to remember your lines and staging and location, or helping others on stage also. A lot to be learned, a lot of lessons in life to be learned through theater arts. Also, the New Hampshire Music Educators Association recently held all-state band, chorus, and orchestra auditions. Merrimack had 20 students accepted across 4 ensembles, and some of them were the top performers in the entire state. And I want to recognize in the band Jenny Epstein, Dave Sharma, Vivian Halverson, Sam Martin, Katie Inamorati and Hikari McDowell for their selection as band members in the orchestra. We have Owen Sabins and Chase Rowe and Trey Grant. For the treble choir, Ella Guzman, Susan Riggy, and Shaylin Sasha. And I apologize if I mispronounced some of the names. And a mixed choir, Emmy Hartwell, Adelina Camerlin, Aaron Murray, Ben Pittman, Julia Hodson, Tristan Plum, Colin Plum, and Simon Yesovich. And this is from Ron Beck, the vocal and general music teacher at the high school. We congratulate them that 20 of our students were accepted into this very prestigious honor, and some of them were top scorers. In fact, I'd like to review again that Dave Sharma was a top scorer in the entire state for baritone saxophone. Hikari McDowell was a top scorer in the state for tenor saxophone. I hope both Dave and Hikari will at one point in their life be joining Tower of Power, which those of you who are of my age vintage know is one of the greatest rock groups for the last 30 years. And also Owen Sabins on the bassoon is a top scorer, and Chase Rowe on timpani is a top scorer. Chase, in fact, earned the top score in all 3 percussion auditions: snare, mallets, and timpani. Quite an accomplishment. So congratulations. Once again, our students at all levels make us very, very proud to be educators in the Merrimack School District. They are wonderful, wonderful students from great families, always accomplishing very, very many important milestones throughout the year. Let's see, we have, that's from Ron Beck, we already read that. Well, students from the Merrimack High School Garden Club also have been distributing plants to every classroom just as a gesture of kindness and a focus on the environment in terms of planting, cultivating, and the importance of agriculture in our lifetime. I want to congratulate our staff member, Rebecca Leary. Rebecca recently received her doctorate in organizational leadership from Southern New Hampshire University. That involves a tremendous, tremendous amount of work. So Rebecca, congratulations on a job well done. I want to say thank you to Laura's World for providing snacks to Merrimack Middle School students. There are cereal bars, protein bars, other healthy snacks for students when they come into school. If some of them are hungry, they can take those snacks at no charge. We want to thank you once again, the community providing assistance and support to our school district. And I can't thank you enough. This is a very special place to work because the fabric of Merrimack is just outstanding. And please know how much I enjoy it, and I respect it, and how meaningful it is to me and other people in the school district to have such a strong, supportive community. Well, I'll see you again before the holidays, and try to stay balanced. It's a very, very stressful time of life. If at any time you're passing by the central office and you want to come in and just say hi, introduce yourself, I always like to meet you. If you'd like to bring your students along, your children along, I'd love to meet them also, all right? Because it allows me to connect more with you, it allows me to connect more with the students, and understand some of the needs of our students and families in Merrimack. This is Bill Olsen. I always appreciate having an opportunity to speak with you. I'll see you next time.